First of all, we just want to say thank you for all the comments that we got from the from our last post, and we pretty much we just really like hearing the feedback.
Yeah, and it's really good. Like, people have shown this much enthusiasm about these videos.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see where this will go, and hopefully everyone will keep sharing. Their
yeah, we
views.
encourage people to say their points.
Share share resources so that everyone can take advantage of that, and that's pretty much what this is all about. This is not about saying this is wrong or that is right or whatever. This is just about getting the big picture together.
Cool.
Putting the pieces of the puzzle together.
Cool.
Yeah. Cool.
Just quickly, on our last video, we tried to define maybe the 3 main points of how we
would approach truth.
Yeah. Now, science, religion, and philosophy.
Yeah.
Now, just to quickly, in consideration of that, basically, what we're trying to come across is that we're not trying to identify any point over the other. Like, we're not trying to make one better than the other.
We're not saying this is better or just choose that.
Yeah. What we're trying to say is that we should take into consideration all levels of
understanding and knowledge, and then move ahead with it. And I think that's where when we think about it, there's no just one way of going about it. We have to take everything
into consideration
together. So it's not just religion, just science or philosophy.
And especially in the subject of finding truth.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if truth is truth, it's everything.
It's everything. So instead of fighting with each other and trying to contradict, okay, this doesn't work, or that's the flaw of science, or that's the flaw of religion or philosophy or whatever. Instead, what we should be doing is try to understand everything from its level, like understand science and where it comes from, understand philosophy and understand religion, and then bridge the gap between all of them.
And find a common ground.
Yeah, and find a common ground. And I think that's where mysticism comes into play. It tries to take everything into consideration and then go ahead from there. It's not about saying, okay,
my way is the best way.
Yeah, it's not that. It's everywhere is the best way. Everywhere goes to that one same road.
Because if you look at it philosophically too, truth is truth. And no matter which way I go about it, it's always going to be truth itself. We're not trying to lay
we're not saying this is not the right way to go or that is not the right way to go. We're just saying you have to go through every way possible.
And understand each level of where it's at.
Exactly. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Right. So, another interesting topic that we got some references from one of our friends was talking about language, and we really want to talk about this pretty much because it's a big subject. But basically, what we're trying to come across is that language is limited.
Yep.
Though we have to use language in order to at least express ourselves.
Yeah. Like, it's kind of like a paradox because we're trying to use language to decipher truth, which can't be deciphered by language. But that's the limitation as humans. We have to communicate.
Yes.
And the only way we can communicate at this level is through language.
Yeah. Because we watched a couple of videos that our friend had given us to sort of consider that language is limited. And this is a point that we fully understand.
And we fully agree with that.
And this is what our whole blogs or video uploads are all about. Is that we are trying to approach an idea without the confines of language, without the confines of human concepts.
Yeah. So let's get that clear. That truth is not something to be understood by any human, interaction or human understanding or inventions or whatever, and that's how it is, and we get that, and but what we're trying to say, these video blogs are not about that. It's about see what we have. Okay, these are the tools that we have. This is what we understood so far, and then try to approach something beyond this. Because truth is something to be experienced altogether. It's not something to be discussed about. It's not something to be talked about.
And we're also trying to identify our faults in order to transcend them, pretty much.
Exactly.
So we're trying to identify what limits us from understanding truth and how, if
we can
it is
overcome
possible
those limits
to transcend them.
Yeah.
So And so language is a big one. You
Yeah.
know? Even me talking, saying these words is probably being interpreted to 10 different people right now.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's one thing we have to consider, at least, is that language is just only a subtle guideline to what we're trying to talk about, to what we're trying to identify.
Just like anything else. Similarly, when we see religion, science, and philosophy, they're just tools to point a direction. You know, they're just pointing us towards this one direction, and then there's more to it.
Yes. So yeah, I would bluntly say that all these tools that we have, they lead us in a direction where we can begin to start going, whatever.
Yeah.
But it can never take us there because it is within the limits of our human comprehension.
Yeah, and I would just like to add that, you know, all these different ways to go about trying to decipher truth, they all have similar concepts at the base.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they might look or they might seem different because of where they're coming from.
Different language.
Yeah, different languages, different ideas, but it's still talking about the same fundamental truth. All right, and this is something we'll be discussing more in coming series.
There might be a couple of people disagreeing, or a lot of people disagreeing us right now, but it's not, because this is the funny thing too. It's not on the assumption that they are on the same level. It's more to do with the understanding for what it actually is in itself. So so what we're trying to come across is that we don't want you to assume that it's like this or assume it's like that, because
assumption.
That's assumption.
We call assumption the biggest devil.
It's the biggest obstacle, because as soon as you assume that it's this,
that's it.
It denies any possibility that it could be all of this. You know?
Yeah, and that's exactly what's hindering our progress. We stick to one point of view, and that's it.
That's what hinders our progress.
Exactly.
And language is also can do that to us.
Yeah, exactly.
So when I say one word like God,
immediately there are heaps of things popping
people
up
assume
in your
that it's this, or assume that it's that, and assume that it's this. So
it's not.
Yeah, but what I'm talking about, it cannot be described. You know.
Exactly. Yeah.
And truth cannot be defined or defined. Yeah, like its totality cannot be defined through words. It can only be an indication from words.
Yeah. So what we're trying to do is just move into a certain direction and then see, can we actually
transcend these
limitations, like human limitations, and can there be a way for us to experience what we're trying to talk about? And that's the goal of the whole series.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.